This is more important than just changing the narrative of the district-run school, the system as parents call it. It's failing us as a country. It's creating a society of complete, unmotivated, unambitious, socialist-minded kids. You can see it in today's workforce. Technologies and innovations that present itself require kids to be highly skilled in all access to all the trades, to all the technologies. But the issue I'm really concerned about today is another reason for us to take over schools as parents. I can no longer perform the function as my kids are 20 and 30 years old with the Florida Parent Empowerment Law here in Florida. Today I'm on my way to see a Florida Panthers game, but before I do so, I wanted to point out the issue with Adriana Cook, a New Jersey student who committed suicide recently in 2023 over bullying. Parents are really distraught over bullying, and it turns out that teachers are bullying each other as well. The bullying occurred in the hallways with her boyfriend present. These were 8th graders. It's the system that sucks. It can only be fixed by elimination. Parents have to run the public schools of their choice and leave the public school system with the schools that can't be taken over by votes, by intraschool votes. I can't say that enough. Other kids are claiming the same thing, that their calls of being bullied go unanswered. The system is enormous. The school system has been a total failure. Like most things that government does, it eliminates competition. It convinces people to unionize, undermine themselves as teachers because it's not merit-based pay. In a union, teachers union, merit pay really is getting more degrees. But you could have a master's in education and get paid the same as a poor teacher with a master's in education. Yet you both have masters in education. What's the merit in that? You can't fix that. All you can hope is to take over a school, have the good teachers stay after the election, knowing the parents are now boss. They can fire you. You can go back to the public school system if you're fired in a parent guardianship school. You keep your pensions, you stay in the pension system. Parent guardianship schools would remain under statute as it is today in Florida. So all that talk, you're going to lose your pension, or lies in my campaign to convert the KBK8 Center in Key Biscayne, Florida. They lied about that over and over again, and it wasn't true. The law permits for you to join a parent conversion school, stay on the staff, and keep your Florida pension obligations. The only difference is parents can fire you and you can go back to a district-run school. What better way to raise the level of maturity in this country by today's parents than to have this conversation that is meaningful, real meaningful. Neighborhoods comparing themselves to other neighborhoods as they take over their schools. What better way here locally for those who are in my locality? What better way for Key Biscayne to have a conversation with Coral Gables, with Palmetto Bay, with Pinecrest, with Aventura, all recent incorporations since 1991, as Key Biscayne was the first to incorporate and separate itself from Miami-Dade County. The only thing that remained after incorporation was the public school system, the public school, KBK8 Center. Today we have a high school as a result of this activity of firing a trigger letter and using it as leverage to build a high school in Key Biscayne. If they don't sign an interlocal agreement with Village of Key Biscayne, Miami-Dade Public Schools would get into a development agreement, which is called an interlocal agreement between a municipality and a county. In this case, it was to build the Master Academy on Virginia Key that exists today. Unfortunately, our village didn't have the vision to understand with these plans, and they put 6th, 7th, and 8th grade into existing 9th through 12th high school. So they brought little kids into a mature environment of kids going to college, and now ruined Mass Academy and the Village of Key Biscayne's KBK8 Center. So imagine firing trigger letters in both schools where it's obvious that bullying takes place. If for no other reason, that would be a reason for parents to take over. Because as parents, they would fire the principal immediately. They wouldn't wait for the county to act. They would fire the teachers that are bullying each other. That wouldn't take much time. Plus, it wouldn't get to the point of no return, because parents would tell other parents who are on the governing board, on the guardianship board that manages the budget, about the increase in bullying. And those parents would be dealt with directly. Hey, your kid is bullying other kids. Either you straighten them out, or we're getting them out of the school. Plain and simple. Let's start the conversation. Adriana Kuch's suicide should be a monumental moment in our public school history to convert the schools to parent guardianship schools. Stop screaming and yelling at school boards. Remember, movements are always started by minorities, good or bad movements. Right now, 13 years later, I'm a minority of one. Shout out to the Moms for Liberty. The mama bears understand that there's a problem, but don't know how to go about solving the problem. Too many institutions, nonprofit organizations, and think tanks think that reforming the school board or getting elected to them is going to solve the problem. You know how long it would take for the majority of school boards to have Mom for Liberty members? Come on, we don't have that time. Those who do win will find themselves acting like those they defeated. Going along to get along. It'll be politics as usual. You'll change. I've interviewed people in my low power station, WSQF Blink Radio. Such a case where a teacher ran for school board against a powerhouse. She didn't stand a chance. When I addressed to her, why don't you fire a trigger letter instead, like I did in school? She was a staff member in 2013. She had that blank face, yet she had the character to run for school board. So what gives? You want to make a change? You want to be a big picture kind of person? Well, to reinvent the public school system, you have to change school by school. Pass the law state by state, but take over your school. It's in your hands. It's approachable. It's doable. You can demonstrate results. Until the conversation between blue parents, red parents, and district-run schools are negotiated, talked about, bannered about, rumored about, the country cannot overcome the present dystopia. It's bad out here. It's really bad. Our opposition are countries that don't mean us well. We're ignoring everything in a self-absorbed, narcissistic type society that doesn't want to turn their mirrors into windows. It starts with school. If you think you have a problem with progressivism, which I call, of course, regressism, you really can't address it at the federal level. All you can do is go to your state senator, state legislator, and get this law passed. And change the word conversion to charter of district-run schools. Change it to conversion to parent guardianship school, as well as change the voting guidelines. And then as each school is taken over by parents who can take over their school, they have to have the maturity and wherewithal to have a functioning school, leaving budget surpluses annually. As they rebuild the school from within, there's no longer that susceptibility to go along, follow to get along, waiting for school boards to pass massive educational bond issues where real estate owners are burdened by renters who vote yes for these bonds, but only the real estate owners pay it. That's 50% of your tax bill in almost all states, especially the large ones. So even if you want to run to private school and be self-centered about it and you don't want to solve the big picture, you're still paying 50% of your taxes to the district-run school system. Again, what gives? Start the conversation between red parents, blue parents, and district-run schools. See whose kids, under what type of management and philosophy, go on to succeed in life. Because if our kids do not succeed in life, they would not have nuclear families to support. And low birth rates brings communism and tyranny. Poverty is the key to communism. Right now we're a poor country. We're getting poorer every day because we're failing to take over our schools. Stay free, my friends.
Yeah, I think there are a whole bunch of contributing factors, but when you think of it, misplacing, 250,000 kids, the public school system, especially in our big cities, is broken. It does not serve these kids. We see from the other pandemic-related information, a lot of kids not only were behind, but a lot are behind in a way that they'll never catch up. And it's just a sign of the apathy. Look at the test scores that came out that show there's 22 schools in Baltimore where there's not a single kid proficient in math. We're not preparing these kids. These kids are destined to end up on the fringes of the American dream and not have a living and a future that they should.
Go to MacontheRock Rampage, where I discuss other issues, 250 plus videos